Layoffs left and right. Insane entry-level competition. And with the rise of artificial intelligence, you might be wondering if software engineering is even worth it in 2024. Is a computer science degree even worth it nowadays? Those are very hard questions to answer, but I'll give you the full truth and what you need to do to succeed in the coming years. Let's get into it with our first point, which is the state of the market. Unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know that 2023 had absolutely horrible layoffs, and the trend is set to continue in 2024. Last year, over 250,000 of employees have been laid off globally. As of the recording date of this video, in 2024 we've had 25,000 layoffs, which is 10% of the numbers we've had in 2023. But February hasn't even started yet. Most of these layoffs were caused by the overhiring spree that happened in 2021, when stocks were at an all-time high and companies had to find a way to spend their money. Well, the consequences of this were strongly felt in 2023, when stock prices dropped and the economy got worse. Even if stocks for these big tech companies are currently at an all-time high, the economy is hardly getting any better. If you're currently studying or want to study in computer science, this will hopefully be fixed by the time you graduate, because economies work in cycles. They go up, they go down. So hopefully, by the time you graduate, it will go back up. But even then, there's another issue, and it's the competition at the entry level. Think of it that way. What kinds of engineers are companies going to lay off? Certainly not the seniors. They're the ones delivering the most value. And junior engineers just take a long time to train and to invest in before seeing any payoff. Of course, this is a generalization, and I know that companies can lay off entire teams, including senior software engineers. But the point still stands. All of these laid off junior engineers are going to flood the entry-level market and are going to compete with you and me. We can't forget that there's also a high influx of bootcampers and self-taught developers who learned to code in these past few years hoping to land a six-figure job. So yeah, it's hard, but not impossible. If you're a computer science student, try to get as many internships under your belt during your degree so that by the time you graduate, you can have a return offer from one of the companies. If you've been laid off, you already have some experience under your belt, so keep applying, grind lead code, and go get that job. If you're a self-taught developer, you're going to need to find ways to stand out from the masses. Because in these past few years, everyone, their moms, and their dogs got into coding. Then, we've got the elephant in the room, AI. Let's get straight to the point. Is it going to replace software engineers? Most likely, but not in the next few years. Let's be honest, currently AI is not writing great code. It's amazing for boilerplate code which can be found all over the internet, but LLMs are not up to par when it comes to solving difficult problems. ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot are great tools that you should use since they greatly increase your productivity. But don't rely on them too much, because it often spits out incorrect code. At the moment, these large language models cannot do everything. We still need humans to use and guide them. And we're still going to need humans to test the changes and to make sure that the code is up to standards. And I don't think that is likely to change in the next few years. Over the long term, code automation is a real possibility, especially if we reach artificial general intelligence, AGI. But there's no point in worrying about it, because if we do reach an AGI, there will be bigger problems in the world than us worrying about losing our developer jobs. Most industries will be affected. The truth is, in the long term, developer teams are going to be trimmed down to 1 or 2 person that give instructions to AI and that supervises them. Basically a glorified prompt engineer. Or we might get the complete opposite scenario, and companies will make so much money, developers will be so productive that these companies will try to find a way to spend their money to exponentially increase their revenue by hiring more developers. Both scenarios are possible, but I think the first one is more likely. So, what can we do about it in 2024? Well, I think there will be 3 types of developer jobs remaining in the AI era. First, we have the engineers who are going to build and train the AI. They are mostly going to be PhD graduates in AI or ML. It is simply very hard to teach yourself all the fundamental knowledge behind artificial intelligence. It requires a lot of maths and statistics. If you want to go down this route, you will need to get your computer science degree and a very high GPA to get accepted into your dream grad school. Second, we have the specialists, which have domain knowledge in a specific field like embedded systems, robotics, mobile, or even front-end and back-end. These people will be very hard to replace because they're the master of their fields. If you want to become a specialist, I suggest you go get your computer science degree, where you'll learn all the fundamental knowledge and the science behind computers. But then you'll have to focus all your energy on a specific field. Take classes related to that field. Do projects, do research, advance the field as much as you possibly can. Of course, a computer science degree is not necessary. If you can prove that you have expertise in the field via meaningful personal projects or open source contributions. Finally, we have the generalist engineers who will become product managers. If AI becomes exceptional at writing code, we might be able to replace a 10-person engineering team with a single person, a product manager. He will prompt engineer his way to a fully completed project by giving the requirements to the AI, testing the changes, and giving feedback if necessary. These people might be able to build real applications from A to Z completely alone. I think this path is most suited to the entrepreneurs and the creative people who love building their own apps and startups, since these people will be able to leverage the maximum potential of AI in their own applications before deciding to work for someone else. These are the full stack engineers. But even then, not really. They are mostly the indie hackers who are building their own stuff and learning along the way. Obviously, a computer science degree is always nice, but I don't think it's needed if you want to go the generalist route. The only thing you will really need is a portfolio of successful applications that you've built fully on your own. In conclusion, let's answer our initial question. Should you still get into software engineering in 2024? If you're looking for the fastest and easiest way to land a six-figure job, I'm sorry to say, but it's not 2021 anymore. You cannot simply do a 3-month bootcamp and expect to land a job at Google. If money is the primary motivator, I suggest you take a look into trades and maybe become a plumber, electrician, or something like that. The pay is north of 6 figures and they are a lot less susceptible of being replaced by AI, at least in the short term. If you love tinkering with computers, coding and building stuff, and you have a genuine passion for what you do, and you're willing to learn everything that there is to learn in the world of programming, go for it. Because the motivated and passionate people who love what they do are going to be the ones remaining in this next era. If you want to work directly on AI or machine learning, you're most likely going to need a PhD. If you want to be a self-taught developer, don't despair. It's not 2021 anymore, but if you're ready to grind, anything is possible. Think of it this way. How are you going to be any better than a computer science student who spent 4 years of his life learning everything that there is to know about computers and programming? So yeah, it's going to take a lot more than a few months. It's most likely going to take years. You're going to need to build up a strong network and deliver real impact. But if software engineering is really what you want to do, go for it. Put in the work and you will be rewarded. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.